Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Alive Again Live on a hot Wednesday night. Coming to you at a special time at 6:30. It's been quite an interesting few days. We just want to spend a few minutes with you. We're not going to take a lot of your time tonight. So some of you will be watching right now. Some of you will be watching later. And we just wanted to come to you and just share a little bit about what's going on. Good evening, Pastor Krista. How you doing over there? You have a fan on you?
Cool.
She has I don't know how she did this, but she picked out these fans that, like on the hottest days, like 100-degree days, you put these fans on you, it feels like you have air conditioning on you. So she got herself one, she got me one. And then the other day she actually put on her central air conditioning for about 10 minutes. It just kind of got the house cool. But you sit in these fans, you really don't need it. It's absolutely crazy. So here we are on a hot night. And like I said, we just want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on. And in fact, the name of the message tonight is very simple. I said we're not going to keep it too long, but it's called "What's Going On." And what is going on in my life? Things that are going on. They're what's going on in my life, and in your life, there are things that are going on. It's what's going on with you. And so I want to tell you a couple of stories, and then I'm going to, instead of opening in prayer, I'm going to read you a prayer by David. That it's just some scriptures that I saw that. It was what was going on in his life, and then I'll tell you what's going on in our life. But first, on Sunday morning, Pastor Krista was sick, and we weren't able to go to church. We go to Angelus Temple. We were going to the Dream Center, and if you know, we were involved with the Dream Center, and they were meeting at Angelus Temple, and there was a split. Now there's two different entities, and we love them both, and we love the pastor at Angelus Temple. It's Pastor Brad and Stella Reed. We love them with all our heart. They're the most beautiful people. They went through the Dream Center. They opened up a Dream Center in New York. Then they came out to L.A. and they co-pastored the Dream Center in L.A. And when the split happened, everything, they're the ones that took over Angelus Temple. They're wonderful, wonderful people. So we couldn't go to church on Sunday, and we watched Angelus Temple. Pastor Brad preached a sermon. And at the beginning, they spoke about trusting God. And they read a scripture, and the scripture said, "I sought the Lord, and he heard me, and he answered." And in the song they say, "That's why I trust him." So those are the steps to the song. I sought the Lord, he heard, he answered, that's why I trust him. And then Pastor Stella got up, and she said, "Maybe today you can't believe this." And she made room for those that are struggling with believing. And maybe that's you. I've had my times where I struggle, where I don't see answers. I sought the Lord, and I don't see answers, and you wonder, did he hear me? And sometimes, maybe God heard you, and it doesn't seem like he heard you, and things begin to turn around, but not in a way that you expected. And that's a little bit of my story, so I'm just going to tell you a little bit in a moment about what could be something turning around. But that's going to be in the prayer, too, in the word in the prayer. But she made room for those that can't believe right now. And then Pastor Brad preached a sermon about trusting God, and it was a psalm. And he says that, I look to the hills from whence cometh my help. It's in King James language. It's like I'm looking up, and where's my help? And he goes, my help comes from the Lord who created heavens and earth. And so we talked about how you trust in God in the hard times. And then at the end, he stopped and he said, maybe today, because he talked about how you roll off your concerns to God. You give him the load. It was in that psalm. Then at the end he said, but maybe you're carrying such a heavy load that you're angry and you're bitter. And they made room for people that are angry and bitter. Or Pastor Stella at the beginning, you can't believe. And they do that all the time. Every service, they always make room for those who are struggling. And I love that. That's so beautiful. But maybe that's you. I've had those times when you struggle and you get bitter, you get angry at things that are going on. What if that's you? What if that's what's going on in your life? So what is going on? And I spoke to her that day, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to read the psalm, I'm going to tell you what's going on. But I thanked her, and I said, thank you guys. You always make room. Pastor Stella, you always make room for those that are hurting. I love that so, so much. So I'm going to read you a psalm for the word, and it's also a prayer. And it's David talking to God. It's his prayer in the very, very, very difficult time of his life. And he actually, it was a song. So in his hard time, he actually wrote a song. And he said, "Oh Lord, don't rebuke me in your anger. Things are going wrong. Maybe you're mad at me, God. Everything's going wrong. Maybe, you're mad. I blew it and you're mad." He goes, "So don't rebuke me if you're mad at me. Don't discipline me in your rage." And then in verse 2, he said, "Have compassion on me, Lord, because I'm weak. Have mercy on me. I'm weak. I can't do it. I'm powerless now. Have compassion on me." This is his prayer. Then he said this, "Heal me, Lord, for my bones are in agony." And he was saying physically he was hurting. His bones were hurting. He was just broken. He was beaten. People were always trying to kill him. And he goes, "Heal me. My body's hurting." Then he said, "I'm sick at heart." So he came to God and he goes, "You know what? Here I am, God. Please don't be mad at me. Whatever I did, have compassion. I'm powerless. Heal me. I'm in agony. I'm hurting. And my heart's hurting. My body's hurting. My heart is hurting." He's going through a very, very difficult time. Then he goes, "How long, God? Like, when are you going to hear me? When are you going to answer me? How long?" Like Pastor Brad said, maybe you're bitter. It's been a long time. And you're carrying this load. And he said, maybe you're broken. You're angry. You're bitter. Pastor Stella, maybe you can't believe. That was David. He said, "How long until?" And maybe that's you. I've been there. I know that one. Oh man, do I know that one? How long, God? Do you hear me? Don't be mad at me. Have compassion. I'm powerless. I'm sick. How long until you restore me? And that's a very key word, restore. The theme of this, we're going to see two phrases, but one is restore. He's saying things were taken from me. My health was taken. My peace was taken. What's been taken from you? His ministry was taken. People betrayed him. He goes, "Restore me." How long, God? In fact, he said, "Return." So restore, and he said, "And return." Come back, God. It looks like you're far away. Return to me. Come back. Do something for me. Return and rescue. There's a whole lot of R's here, right? You always see those she always sees these little connections, like she'll see a bunch of words that begin with R. But he says, "How long until you restore me? Return and rescue me." He's saying, God, I need rescuing. I need you to do something. Return. But how long? How long do I have to go through this? This nightmare doesn't end. I have recurring nightmares every night. They're not like nightmares. They're just freaked out dreams. But I'm always stuck in a city, and I have to get home, and it's getting dark, and I have to go home like on a freeway, and I only have a bike or something. And then I have all these adventures on the way home. I see all kinds of interesting characters. I go through houses that have swimming pools. It's just a recurring dream. I love my dreams. They're vivid. They're colorful. I get up and I write them down. But there's always a theme. I get up to play, and all of a sudden my drums don't work, or they're missing, or they're in another room. These are recurring, stressful themes. But they're always very colorful. I have dreams that all of a sudden I'm on a ride, like at the log ride at Knott's Berry Farm. Go over a cliff and go down a waterfall. I'm on these rides, but they're always mixed with craziness. And so it's just a recurring nightmare. And he's saying, I have a recurring nightmare, God. My life is a recurring nightmare. How long until you rescue me? You just return. Then he goes, you know what? He goes, save me for one reason. And he goes, save me because of your unfailing love. And just remember that you love me, God. You didn't stop loving me. Please save me. And in verse 5, he goes, because the dead don't remember you. And what he's saying is, you know what? Keep me alive here, man. I'm dying, God. He's saying, I'm hurting. My body's hurting. My heart's hurting. I can't believe anymore. How long until you rescue me? Please restore me. Return to me. Don't be mad at me. This is his prayer. That's his opening prayer to God. Then he said, who can praise you from the grave? And then he goes back to where he's at. He goes, you know what, God? Here's where I'm at. I'm worn out from sobbing. Everything went wrong for him, and he's crying. He goes, I can't cry anymore. I'm worn out from sobbing. There's a story where King David went and got a victory over the enemy, came back, and other enemies came and they burned down his city. They kidnapped his wives, his kids, and they took everybody. They kidnapped everybody and burned their city down in Ziklag. And it says that they cried until they couldn't cry anymore. There was no more tears left to cry. That's how horrific that situation was. And God turned everything around for him. And he goes, I'm worn out from sobbing. I'm worn out, God. Powerless, I'm worn out. How long? Return. All night I flood my bed with weeping. I'm drenching it with tears. This is what he says. All night. I'm not sleeping. I'm crying in my bed all night. How long, God? How long until you restore me? Return. Deliver me. Do something. Rescue me. How long, God? I'm sick at heart. Heal me. My bones are in agony. I'm sick at heart. Don't rebuke me in your anger. That's his opening prayer to God. I'm worn out all night. I flood my bed with weeping. I'm drenching it with my tears. Verse 7, my vision is blurred by grief. I can't see anything. All I see is grief. My vision, everywhere I look, all I see is the grief. All I see, everywhere my eyes land, I just see grief and suffering. My vision is blurred. My eyes are worn out because of my enemies. The enemies that have come against me, he goes, it's so bad that I can't even see anymore. That's all I see. I'm devastated, God. How long? This is his opening prayers. Then he talks to the enemy, and he says, go away, all you who do evil. And this is what he said. All of a sudden, he's saying, how long? Answer me. How long before you restore me? You don't answer me. You don't hear me. And he goes, go away. Problem, go away. Why? He goes, because the Lord has heard my weeping. And all of a sudden, something happened in his heart. And something turned around. And all of a sudden, he goes, you know what? God has heard my weeping. The Lord has heard my plea. And the Lord will answer my prayer. Maybe you're going through what Pastor Brad and Pastor Stella talked about, where you can't believe you're broken and you're bitter and you don't think God hears you. I know that one very, very well. He was going through this, David. And all of a sudden, somehow, he had a little bit of hope. He didn't see the answer, but he said, but God will answer. And then he says, may all my enemies be disgraced and terrified. And here's the phrase I want to look at. May they suddenly turn back in shame. And so earlier he said, God, restore. He said, return and rescue. And this is the big one. Turn back. I actually considered calling the sermon just turn back. At the end, he said, my big problem is my enemies. May they suddenly, may there be a sudden turnaround. May suddenly everything turn around and turn back. May my enemies turn back in shame. Sometimes, he's saying God's going to answer me. May they turn around. May that happen in the answer. Sometimes you don't see when the turnaround is coming. And maybe the answer is on its way. The reason I say that, I want to tell you a couple things. You know, my car is turned back. My car got vandalized. I got a new, beautiful car that I've told you about. It's a beautiful, beautiful Mazda 6. It's metal flake blue, like a sparkle blue. It's dark. And under the sun, it's the most beautiful blue and silver sparkle. Oh, it's just beautiful. I love it. When I got it, it was inspected. I got it at a place called CarMax. It was used, extremely low mileage. It was like a gift from God. And Pastor Krista made me buy a car. She said, you need a new car. You're buying one today. It was that kind of moment. The only one I ever had that kind of power on me was my mother. So I knew what I wanted, and I found the exact car, the same color. They detailed that car. It was perfect. One morning I walked out and there was a scratch. I go, where did that come from? Then I looked and there was another scratch, and there was another scratch, and all of a sudden there were scratches all over my car. Somebody had targeted me. My enemies, I don't know who it was. There was circles scratched on the door of my car all over. So I made an insurance claim for that vandalism. I took my car in today. They're going to turn that around. They're going to strip everything. They see all the scratches. I mean, there's a lot. I couldn't believe it. It's like somebody walked around my car and they were just, deep scratches, then light ones. But somebody just went around my car and did that. It was terrible to find that. I didn't know it was so bad. I saw the scratch, and then I went somewhere with Pastor Krista. She got on. She goes, look at your door. On the passenger side, look, and it was just like scribbled all over, whatever it was. But all of a sudden, I'm at a place. I called an insurance company. They're going to take care of it. My insurance company, they're taking care of it. So I took it and I dropped it off, and I felt like it was in good hands. It's going to take a couple weeks, but they're going to put it back to exact condition it was. Like it's going to be brand new again. So I'm watching the turnaround. It takes a moment. I don't have a car right now. Sometimes you don't have your car, you don't see the answer, but you know that soon the turnaround will be there. They're going to turn that whole vandalism around and give my car back to me. On the way home, we passed by a pool where I grew up, a friend's house. Told you the story before. And I pointed out this house and told the guy my story. The guy gave me a ride home. And I told him when I was a little kid, I went swimming in a pool. And right now, summertime, and the parents, my friend's parents went to a formal affair, tuxedo and gown kind of thing. We were swimming, and he tipped the boat over. I told him, whatever you do, don't tip the boat over. I can't swim. He tipped it over. I went straight down into the deep water, and I couldn't swim. And we were drowning. He was trying to save me, and he couldn't pull me up to the surface. We'd scream, and we'd go back down. I was scraping the walls with my fingernails. I remember I was like 6. I was in the 2nd grade. I remember it vividly. And I was scraping up, and we were screaming. And all of a sudden, my parents' friends, on the way somewhere, they remembered something. They go, we forgot this. They turned around and went back home. They turned around. They turned back and went back home and heard the cries. And he ran through the sliding glass door and he jumped in the water and he saved us. I would have died had it not been for him turning back. I didn't know. I was screaming. I thought I was going to die. As a kid, I knew I was drowning. But that father turned back and saved us. That's what David is saying. May they suddenly turn back. It was a sudden turning back, a sudden turnaround. So you never know. In my life and in yours, whatever you're screaming about, David was screaming. And all of a sudden he nailed it. He goes, it's my enemies that are making me scream. May everything turn back. Restore, God. So I'm saying maybe the turn back is beginning. May everything turn back. And so I want to tell you just a couple more things before I let you go. So I just told you what's happening with my car. It's going to turn back. David said turn back. I told you about how my life was saved as a kid because the parents turned back. So a couple of things are going on, and it's the beginning of a turn back moment. I've been telling you for months now that I have an injury in my arm, and it's been going on. It's been hindering me from playing my drums. You know that I'm a musician. I'm playing in a band, and all of a sudden, it's like some things got canceled, and all of a sudden, it's like I haven't been able to play as much, and I have a big gig coming up, and I'm getting like frustrated, like why? And then my arm started getting worse. After I played 2 or 3 gigs in the last couple of months that were huge, and everything got really bad after, really, really bad. And then I started thinking, I don't think I can play right now. And finally, I've been going through like getting chiropractic care, but I went to my doctor, and they ordered ultrasound, and the ultrasound didn't show anything. So then I got a CAT scan, and I got 2 reports, one in my neck and one in my shoulder. And the CAT scan showed that I have a degenerative disc kind of thing. I have a bulging disc in my neck. It's a spinal injury that I've had before I had surgery. I was rear-ended twice in my life. I had injured my neck and my spine very severely. I was almost paralyzed. My disc broke. It landed on my spinal cord. They had to go in there and take everything out. It was a horrific situation years ago. That whole thing got aggravated again. And because of that, I have discs that collapsed and a bulging disc, and it's pinching nerves in my neck. And those nerves are going straight down to my arm. So it's very painful. The nerves are just like collapsed, just like smashing, on that. Number 1. Number 2 is they also did a CT scan on my shoulder, and they found that there's some damage in my shoulder as well, and that's also pinching the same exact nerves. So it's called a double impingement. So in my neck, it's crushing the nerves, and in my arm, it's crushing the nerves. That's bad news. The good news is that they say they caught it in time, and they said if I had played one more gig, that disc would have ruptured in my neck, and I would have been rushed immediately into surgery with the possibility of being paralyzed forever. That would have landed on my spinal cord again. The last time they said I had to have surgery immediately or I would be paralyzed, and they said it would have happened again. So I was spared all of that. And I looked at all of a sudden, it seemed like things were canceled that I was going to do. I had a gig a couple of weeks ago. It got canceled. And they said, had I done that one gig, there's a very likely possibility that this would have ruptured during that gig while I was playing. An ambulance would have taken me out. And so I thought maybe I was getting frustrated because of cancellations. Maybe that was God turning things around. And because of this, so now tomorrow I'm meeting with my doctor, and we're going to get a game plan going. I'm going to get physical therapy, and they're going to work on this. And I have to take a break. I've taken a break from a lot of stuff. I was going to preach at the Hoving Home last week. I had to take a break from that. I'm supposed to preach at the Dream Center next week. I'm going to take a break from that. And we haven't been able to navigate the Dream Center because of all of this. The parking, handicapped seating, I've been only able to push Pastor Crystal with one arm in her wheelchair, and right now it's kind of hard. And so, because of all of that, that can get very discouraging. But I have Angelus Temple, and we've been doing both on Sundays, Dream Center, and Wednesday go to Angelus Temple. And Pastor Stella has stepped in, and they know the situation. You know, I've helped them do stuff. You know, baptize people. We're friends. They love our ministry. They love us as pastors. They've seen some of our videos, and we have a wonderful relationship with them. And so they're going to take care of us, just like the turnaround, the turn back. And so this Sunday we're going to begin just doing that. Instead of going to the Dream Center and Angelus Temple, we're going to go to Angelus Temple. They're going to meet us. They're going to take the wheelchair. And right now I can't get Pastor Krista down to the handicapped seating area. It's like a ramp that goes down. And if I need to take her out for any reason, it's hard to go up that ramp right now. So there's a spot that when you first walk in the door on one side, it's like an elevated platform. We're going to get our own little platform. It's you walk in and you take steps down into the sanctuary. It's right where the steps are. Right next to is a beautiful little spot. And so we're going to sit there, and then I can get her in and out easily. I don't have to go down ramps, and it's going to be absolutely beautiful. And we're going to be there, and we're going to greet people as they come in and as they leave. So we're going to use that as a time to minister and be greeting and loving people on the way in. And so I think that maybe that's the suddenly moments. He's saying suddenly turn it around. When everything seems to be like him, everything's going wrong, and all of a sudden you see, but wait a minute, maybe this is what God provided because of all of this, and you didn't see that turnaround coming. I didn't know it was so bad. I knew something was wrong. I thought maybe it was just an injury to my arm. I didn't realize that the injury that I had years ago that caused me to have surgery was flaring up again, ready to break again. And had I had another gig, that it makes me want to cry. Had I done the gig I was so upset at not getting, right now I'd possibly be in the hospital recovering from spinal cord surgery, possibly paralyzed. They said possibly paralyzed partially for life or entirely for life. That was a very real possibility that would have happened. So maybe that's the turnaround. And it seemed like a disappointment for me. I was like really frustrated. And maybe God spared me. Maybe that's what happened. And then all of a sudden I can't navigate the Dream Center. But Pastor Stella stepped right in, and Pastor Brad. And they said, you have a home here. And we love it there so much. It's like an elevated place. Maybe that's a turnaround. Maybe I was drowning one day. And a little kid's parents turned back because they forgot something. And that saved my life as a kid. Maybe that was a turnaround. And so whatever you're facing right now, I just pray, you know what? May it turn around. I just told you what's going on with me. My question is, what's going on with you? So I'm going to close, and I'm going to ask God just to turn things around for you, whatever it is. I don't know how it looks. I don't know what all the answers are. Sometimes you don't see them all, and you're frustrated, and you're like David, when, God? And maybe somewhere there is a turnaround or a turn back, and you never saw it coming. So God, I pray, I pray for me, God, because you know my story, and it's been hard to pray about things because of disappointments. But maybe, God, you did turn things around in a way I never saw coming. I never saw those parents coming. These doctors that stepped in and did all this and found all of this. Maybe those cancellations of gigs were a miracle in itself. Pastor Stella, Angelus Temple, maybe it's a miracle in itself. So I pray that everybody that's struggling or suffering, may they see the miracle in itself. And may you turn whatever's going on, what's going on with them, may you turn it back. There was a suddenly for David. Maybe sometimes it's just a suddenly realization that God may be turning things around. Thank you, God, I pray for everyone now, in Jesus' name. Hi, Irma Reyes. Irma Reyes is watching. Well, God bless you all for watching. We love you so much. Thank you. And we'll keep you posted. So tomorrow, I go to the doctor and we start the game plan. But thank God I don't have to have the surgery. That would have laid me up. I may have never played drums again. If they said it could have led to disastrous consequences. Had I played one more gig, and instead I'll recover. I'll find out the timeline tomorrow, and I'll be playing. And it's the good news. The bad news is, yeah, there's some injuries. The good news is you caught it in time and you stopped. And I haven't played my drums for weeks now, since the last gig. And I so wanted the gig a couple weeks ago. Like I said, it just got canceled. And maybe that was a turnaround. Maybe that was the turn back. God bless you all. Pastor Krista, thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon, and God bless you all. Hey, if anything happens in your life and God just turned it around, let me know what's going on. Let me know what your turn back is, okay? We'll say, hey, Glenn Gardner's watching. Glenn Gardner's a minister in his own right. He's got a radio broadcast, or he live streams everything. And check him out. He's on here. You see his name on here, so click on his name and check out what he's Light of the World Ministries. Check it out. Okay, I'll talk to y'all later. God bless you. We'll see you very, very soon. Thank you for watching. Keep me in your prayers. It's a turn back. It's a turnaround time. So things are going to get better now. I'll see you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye.